Guys, Creampuff is absolutely carrying me in Arena right now, and I'm going to show you the team that I'm using, which Creampuff is carrying me on up the ranks, where we're pushing higher and higher, we're getting higher and higher, our rankings going up, our trophies are going up, so maybe this team can make your trophies go up too. So let's go ahead and talk about the team now. The Creampuff carry comp, baby, let's go. Alright guys, so this team is going to be using Wildberry, Hollyberry, Moonlight, Blueberry Cookie, and Creampuff Cookie, with the treasures of cooldown clock, attack scroll, and the whistle. Now guys, before hopping into the toppings, make sure you use your magic finger like Creampuff uses their magic wand, and click that subscribe button, because only like 10% of you guys are actually subscribed. It would help the channel out tremendously if you guys would hit that subscribe button. I'd be very happy boy if you did that. Anyways, let's stop the little subscriber plug and let's talk about the toppings now. Hollyberry Cookie is going to be using full almonds with just a focus on damage resist. Damage resist is the only thing you need with Holly, because Holly is just all around great right now for just about anything in the game. That boy Wildberry is going to be built the exact same way. He's going to be running full almonds with a focus just really on damage resist. Make sure you're getting over 45% damage resist with this. On Boobberry Cookie, we're going to be using full searing raspberries with really just a focus on damage resist and attack. I have 6.7 cooldown. I'm not going over 7% cooldown because I do want Blueberry to activate after my Creampuff so we can get the stun prevention off first. That's the only reason why I have the cooldown so low. On Moonlight Cookie, we're going to be using full Swift Chocolates with a focus on cooldown and damage resist. Make sure you have over 20% cooldown and just get as high damage resist as possible. And finally, on Creampuff, we're going to be using full Crit Jellies with a focus on damage resist and cooldown. You want over a 6.3% cooldown for this, and you want to make sure your damage resist is as high as you can get it. My damage resist for this team is really low right now, so if you can bump it up to over 20%, that would be optimal for this team. But if you can't, the Creampuff might die depending on who you face. And also, you want to make sure your crit's over 46% so you can get all the buffs off and stuff like that for your team. Just as a quick side note here, guys, you also want to make sure you're using your Moonkiss toppings for like Blueberry and Moonlight and whoever can use them, just because it'll free up some of your actual toppings that can be used on everyone, and they actually roll pretty good. So if you have any good rolls on these Moonkiss toppings, I would do those. Preferably, I would say use the Moonkiss toppings for like Swift Chocolates, because those are the hardest to get. So I would do that personally. Now guys, let's go ahead and hop into a couple of arena matches here, show off what this team is good against and what this team is bad against. Alright guys, so hopping into our first match now against a Sherbet Moonlight comp. And this is also going to be using a pure vanilla in the back. This team is fairly good against pure vanilla. Sometimes it loses against Sherbet comps, but about 90% of the time it actually beats Sherbet comps. So we're going to see how this match turns out here. Now, the whole thing of this team, right? The reason why we have like Hollyberry and Wildberry in the front is to proc stuns. We're proccing stuns so we can get this laser beam off more. The more laser beams we can get off, the faster we're going to be able to kill the enemy, because Blueberry's laser beam is so strong. It is actually like really strong. As you can see there, we basically took down the whole team with a laser beam there. Hey yo, absolutely snapping. We beat that guy without really losing much HP. So we're gonna take a look at Creampuff's damage now and Blueberry's damage as well. Creampuff did an alright 521,000 damage. Blueberry doing 5 million damage, more than our Moonlight. But the healing's really where it's at. As you can see here, our Creampuff Cookie did 7.4 million healing, while their Pure Vanilla did around 3 million healing. So absolutely snaps. Creampuff is an absolute godsend of a healer. On top of that, Creampuff's also giving off crit buffs and attack buffs for the whole team. Alright guys, hopping into our second match now. The reason why I don't use this team with BTS is because BTS can't do any damage really. They do provide extra HP shields. Creampuff overall provides more healing for the team and also an extra attack buff and crit buff for the team. And on top of that, Creampuff also does provide crit resist for the whole team as well. It's the same as BTS does. Also, Creampuff does provide some damage, so sometimes she can get the finishing blow on some cookies. As you can see right here, we kind of got slapped around right there. Let's see if we can maybe get a kill off here. Please, Moonlight, use your ability before everyone else dies. And please, gosh, hurry. Kill! Pew, pew, pew! We win. I'm sorry, guys. Guys, that was kind of close. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, we kind of flipped there. We did get a win there, though. 2-0. As you can see, even though the Blueberry died early, it's still 4 million damage done, more than our Moonlight, just because of how much damage Blueberry does against incapacitated enemies whenever she shoots that laser beam off. And on top of that, with the extra attack and crit buff that Creampuff is giving, it just helps the rest of the team just do a little bit more damage as well. And 500,000 damage from Creampuff Cookie, which is not bad. 4.9 million healing, which did more than their 1 APV. Hey, you can't really ask for more there. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hop into our third match now. And I'm going to try to find a team where this team is bad against. So getting into the third match now, I found this team to be really bad against two teams. Any team that really uses BTS and teams that use Vampire, those two teams are where this team suffers. Really, that's where Blueberry suffers, because you can't proc off stuns because of the stun resist. This can also be said against Creampuff comps too. Anything using BTS and against Blueberry is just really bad for Blueberry, just because you can't shoot that laser beam off as much. As you can see, we're going to lose this match here just because of that BTS cookie in the back there providing a stun resist for the team. Same can be said if they're using Creampuff as well, and Vampires do really good against this team too. So if you're going to run this team, I would avoid facing any BTS comps if possible. Alright guys, hopping into our fourth match now against a triple DPS comp. I don't think I've took this team up against many triple DPS comps, so I'm curious to see how this does against a triple DPS comp, if this team is really kind of K-Kona bad, or how this really is. Now, an alternative which you could run if you still want to run Blueberry on the team, you could maybe run a Frost Queen as well, because Frost Queen does freeze the enemy and incapacitates them, so that could also work against these teams like this. Oh yeah, we absolutely slapped this team. I think they didn't really have any stun resist there, so we just ate the rest of their team up. But Frost Queen, like I said, could probably work instead of a Wildberry. Maybe run a triple DPS comp with Frost Queen instead of your Wildberry in the front, because then you'll be getting extra incapacitates from the freeze versus trying to stun the enemies. Hopping into our final match of the day, boys, against Tiny Potato. And yeah, this is really just gonna wrap the video up here. This is basically kind of like a mirror comp right now, except they're using PV in the back and we are using Creampuff in the back now. And that's another reason why I say Creampuff also needs a lot of damage resist, because as you can see in some of the previous matches, Creampuff died really early on, and that's because they hadn't built up enough of the cream buff yet to actually get the extra damage resist. Now, right here, our Moonlight is dead, so that is not very good, because we're not getting any sleeps off against the enemy. And if we're not getting sleeps off against the enemy, that means their team is going to have the chance to shoot laser beams off more. But yeah, we still won anyways. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's the reason why I say run extra damage resist if you can with Creampuff, just because Creampuff will die early on in matches if you don't run that extra damage resist. You really need her to pop off her abilities 2 times before she gets any type of damage resist, because she gets 18.7% per cast, and that lasts for, you know, basically the duration of the match, because she'll just keep casting and keeping it up. But yeah, you really want a higher damage risk to keep her alive at the beginning of the match. It doesn't really matter too much at the end of the match. And as you can see here, our Creampuff did 780,000 damage. Our Moonlight died early, but we came out on top. Blueberry doing 6.1 million damage. And keep in mind, this is only at a 4-star Blueberry. I haven't even got to 5-star or any ascensions yet for Blueberry, and they're hitting this much damage. And of course, our Creampuff's at 5A just because of how many guild summons I have. Taking a look at the healing done now, as you can see, Creampuff absolutely huge, 6.4 million healing. Over 2 million more healing than their PV. So yeah, absolutely snapping. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video on this Creampuff comp. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about the comp, leave them in the description below. Maybe drop a subscribe too while you're down there. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. If you really like this comp, let me know. If you think this comp's trash, let me know too. Anyways, bye bye, guys. I'm leaving. I've been stalling for too long on this outro. Bye.